There we are. Good afternoon, everybody. I found them. Oh, do you know, I had them 5 minutes ago and they just disappeared. Happy New Year to you. You will hear my girls in the background because I need the window open because it's hot. It's hot in here. So if they get too noisy, I have pasta at the ready to throw out the window. But I'm sure they'll hang around and have a chat with us all. I'm not going to say that we're a pack of chooks. I'm never going to say that, but for the purpose of this, they'll just join in the conversation. So, Happy New Year. I hope you are all well. Where did that week and a half go since we did, was it 2 weeks since the Boxing Day? I can't even remember, but it is absolutely just flown. I think the first week was Rob and I, Steve, getting out all of your orders. That was a big week and it was wonderful, and thank you so much for your orders and all of your support. It was brilliant. And then there was, yes, Franny, I can hear you through the window. Yeah, keep walking. Sorry, they're behind you. Keep walking that way. Keep going. There's nothing to see here. It's just me and the girls. Right. Deal with that in a minute. Yep. And so it was really, really busy. And then there was New Year. And then Steve, resident Steve, turned 21. So on the 3rd of January. So it was just a huge week. Let me get rid of the chooks. Hang on. I will not get rid of them. You know what I mean. Feed them something. I've just sacrificed a very expensive loaf of dark rye bread out the window. Oh my goodness me. Alright, who's in the... Great way to start the year. Who's in the building? Let's do that. Is it through the round window, the square window, or the arch window today? We have Kathy Ahern and Val and Sue McConchy. Fiona, hello. How are you today? You're up. You're up at the moment. Yvonne Chapman, it's been so long. Had a chat with Yvonne this morning. Bernadette, hello. Happy New Year to you. Jane, hi. Nancy, good afternoon. Jimmy, how are things with you in Tassie? I was having a chat with Felicity in St Helens this morning. A big chat about gorgeous things like plans for Deloraine Craft Fair, in November, and all those sorts of exciting things. Rhonda Barry, hello buddy, how are you? It was a good Christmas too, wasn't it? Oh, sorry, being naughty. Let me keep going. Chris, good afternoon. Karen, hello, welcome. Oh, Sue, really? It's a raining and flooding Southern California. Sue, I have neglected you a little bit. I think I read your email at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and therefore it has not been responded to, and I do apologize. Your bamboo block looked absolutely fantastic. Loved it. And flooding in Southern California. I will check the news later. Marilyn, welcome. I can't believe it's the new year. Can you? Oh, Sharon Keys, good afternoon. Hello, welcome. Fee's in fine form. You are so funny. Everyone wrote, read what Fiona said about keeping her quiet. There will be no pasta throwing at the soiree. Not even autumn leaf shaped ones. That's not, there may be autumn leaf shaped cookies, just saying, but they're biscuits, but they're waiting. Sally, good afternoon. Maria, hello and welcome. It's been ages since we had that lovely long chat. Chris Otto, good afternoon. Oh, thank you very much. The Chandler family are fine and dandy, actually. We went across to Steve's new digs with Lulu on the weekend. Phil's moved into his apartment. It's all transient. It's transient. This year, the entire family are moving to different locations, and we don't know where we're going yet, but it will happen. And you'll all get to come. How exciting. Sue, you are not an old chook. I can see that. Did he get... No, Nancy, he did not get his quilt. So for those doing Be Mindful on through A Quilter's Life in Podia, there will be confessions this week. However, he has seen it. I did crack on. I did a lot of his quilt. It's probably half finished, and half finished in the true sense, because it's quilt as you go. So I'm madly working on it at the moment, but it's kind of... He's not fussed because he hasn't got his office set up to put it in yet. So I've sort of got another new deadline to get it finished by. But in a way, I'm really happy I haven't finished, because now I'm running at the same pace as those that are doing online with me. So I've got a big demo session coming up to put up about the 20th, I think, of the month. So there you go. No, it's not finished, but you will be the first to see it when it's done. On Facebook. Really, Chris? Is that right? Well, there you go. Two gorgeous boys born on the same day. You love the chooks, Kristen? Yeah, you love them in the morning when they lay eggs, and then not so much in the afternoon when they get bored. Yes, well, that could be true, Rosemary. That could be true. That's why she's clucking away now. Catherine Doust is sewing while watching. You prolific stitcher, you. Unbelievable. Gay, hello from Grosstown. Oh, nice. St. Helens, I know, Jimmy, I know it's on the other side. I know. Remember, I married a Taswegian. I've got my geography kind of right. But yeah, it is a long way, because it's two from Lonnie. Sorry, speaking like a local, 2 from Lonnie, about that. Down Elephant Pass, see, where I get chronically car sick, so Flick lets me drive. I go to teach. Stephanie Richards, welcome. Tracy Smart, welcome. I can see you're watching with Lynette and Cheryl. He did. Judy Vermeulen's in the building. Hey, mate. Look, he did. It was pretty low-key. I have a feeling it's firing up probably this weekend. So we had the family do on his birthday, which was lovely. We were all together. That is a challenge sometimes with Rob with work and Phil on shift work and things, but we pulled it off for his birthday, so that was great. Family do 2 weeks in a row, Christmas and birthday. I have a feeling the big gig, which we will not be invited to, is probably within the next 2 weeks. In a garage. I have offered fairy lights for the occasion. That's all I want to do with it. Yeah, so about, I think it's about an hour and a quarter, Jimmy. I can't remember now. Denise, hi, welcome. So, what we're going to do today, all those New Year's resolutions, hey? Like, resolution number 1, wait. Have painted nails for Facebook. This is very important. I've chipped a couple already though, folks, I'm sorry. But look, for nails painted for Facebook. And that was brought to fruition yesterday because I've been cooking with fresh turmeric. Another of my New Year's resolutions, the turmeric ginger lemon shots. Fresh turmeric, everything is yellow. So I've learnt my lesson there, including my hands, my nails, a couple of cooking basins and a few other things. So New Year's resolutions sort of came a bit quicker. Now, another New Year's resolution, be sure to post all Facebook shows on to my Lisa Chandler Designs YouTube channel. Now it didn't always happen last year, and the exception will be if we just have a sale day. There's no point in putting that up, but I will put them up. So welcome to all of our YouTube viewers as well, because quite a lot of people don't watch us live on Facebook. They like to watch it on YouTube later, particularly all our mates in the UK overseas. So welcome to you, and also welcome to all A Quilter's Life members, because today's show will go up into the club to go with the Aster block, which is hidden behind my head, I've just realised. So you're going to go, why has she got the quilt all over the place? She hasn't lined up with the camera lens, but I've done it on purpose because the Aster block is right down the bottom of the quilt. So I had to push everything up. So we're going to do this one today. And as the name of the show suggests, we're also going to look at it as a poppy block, because it really is pretty much one or the other. You can do it either way that you want to. Good afternoon, Denise. Maureen and Jackie, hi. So we're going to do this, we'll talk about it in terms of using it for your Oriental Baltimore, I will just briefly describe and go through the techniques that we have been using up till now and how they apply to this block. Because what I want to do today is actually just kickstart those that want to do it off in machine applique. So quite a few people over the holidays that are part of the Be Mindful Quilt Club. So there are 2 groups doing this. There's one that get a physical mail out of their kit each month, like we do for the Oriental Baltimore, but it's a subscription one, if you like. So that's going, you know, they are doing theirs mostly machine applique, I suspect. And then I've got a group of club members that are doing it as an online club. And that's where it's got a little bit confusing, because members in A Quilter's Life say, I can't see it. It's a separate paid course. I would love to have shared it with you, but of course it's not mine, it's Michelle's. And so it has to be done respecting her intellectual property. So it runs as a separate course where I can track who's doing it and track who's paying it, so that I kick on and pay Michelle. So that's the way that works. But a lot of people have said, I'd love to see what you're doing with the applique in the Be Mindful quilt. So I thought what we'll do today, we'll touch on this from a straight machine applique look, as well as the way that we've been doing it previously with the other blocks. And I must say, it did kind of fly through last year, didn't it? Because we are down to the last couple, and then we'll be able to talk about assembly. And then before you know it, we're going to kick on and we're going to start the next one, which is the Japanese Baltimore. I'm going to do that similar way, but I'm going to really mess with you color-wise, so you'll have a few options with that. You don't have to do it. Of course, we run them as a casual club, but if you're in A Quilter's Life, you're going to get all of those patterns as well. And there are a few different little techniques going on in there. So that'll all be coming up next. Now, before we get started though, look, it's been the Christmas break. So in terms of fabric deliveries, it's not that we haven't got new stuff coming in. We have got some that gorgeous Asian stuff I keep telling you about. It's due in with my gorgeous FedEx man. He's not gorgeous good looking. I know what you're thinking. No, he's just wonderful, and he's fantastic customer service and carries the heavy boxes inside for me and all that sort of stuff. But that's due, according to the FedEx tracking, in the next couple of days. So that's very, very exciting. And then I'll start getting them ready for you to do a little bit later in the month. Steve's already working on some stuff for that. In fact, look, I've got my fake cherry blossoms ready to go. I just thought I'd put them in today, but they're here for that. But we've had 2 deliveries come in that I just want to show you. They're not so much a range or a collection, but they're ones that we will have in stock, or one lot will have in stock continuously now, and we're going to add to that we talked about last year. And then we've also got some pearlescence in. So Maywood Studios are looking at discontinuing some of their beautiful patterns, my favourite ones from the pearlescence range, and I've been a bit slack stocking them because I can get them any time. So I haven't had them for a while because I always knew they were there if I wanted to get them in for a specific project. So I've got, let's pull this little bundle of joy off here for a minute. So I've got 3 of these in, and it literally for me was a panic buy because we're not sure that they're going to continue this pattern, and for me it's my fave. Just put my phone up there. They say it's like riding a bike, but I forgot to make sure my phone was fully charged before we started. Okay, so this is, can you see that beautiful luster? So if I wanted to describe it for you compared to what you may have had before, I'm going to say it's like a patterned fairy frost, but it's finer and it's more delicate. Good afternoon, Carol. Greetings. Sweetie Jenny Miller is in the building. Hazel, hi. Oh, Sue McGonty, you're overachieving. You've finished your Aster block already. Yes, so because it was Christmas, I released the pattern into A Quilter's Life a bit early. So if you've been away and you haven't had a look, you've actually had it there for a week. Sue's finished hers. There's always one, isn't there? There's always one in a crowd. So this one is, wait, this one's called white. It's not white. It's more like a beautiful, soft, in fairy frost it would be parchment, I would say. It's just a beautiful, soft off-white. So that's one. And this is the black, but again, It's not black, it's black with a black grey luster over the top. Oh gee, that's just beautiful. They, you know, they can be a background to a stunning quilt, but they may also just be, you know, just a little evening bag or something like that. Oh, thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. So, Pam Stanton is here. Good afternoon. And a Facebook show would not be complete without Diana from Costa Rica. Hello. Oh, not long now, and we're sending fabric to Costa Rica. I just want to keep saying it. I just want to keep saying it. As you know, this is purely for Diana. As you know, we're house hunting this year, but there's a dilemma. There's a dilemma because you can't be moving house while you're in Spain, correct? So I've set a cut-off date. We have to stop looking on about Valentine's Day. And if we haven't found anything on Valentine's Day, we go to Spain. And because Maria and Manuel are expecting us to go, but I thought, well, what if we buy something and we can't afford, or we can't be in two places at once? I can't be moving chickens and a cat while... So I will let you know if we're going to Spain or not, and then you'll know. But if we don't go now, we'll just go later in the year, depending on what happens. But, you know, I'm trying to fit in Costa Rica with it. That's what I'm trying to do. This one is gold. So with the gold, it's not like gold, fairy frost gold. It is soft, pretty yellow. Look at that. Cream. Yum, yum, yum. They are just lovely. So I'm very... It's like old friends coming back into the building, but they're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And they're heavy because they're brand new and they're full box. So I'll put them back up there. All right, these, so with our batik plans for this year, as you know, we're going to start stocking, can't talk, some banyan batiks. So these are made pretty much in the same place that Hoffman's are. The big difference for you and me is going to be the price. So I've popped, all of the Hoffmans are still at 24, but as the new ones come through, they'll be going up to 28. 28 for a Bali batik. Ouch. So that is why we're looking at the banyan ones as well, and I've been working with them and I love them. So we haven't started putting the plain ones up yet. I will be. It's just a case of, you know, swings and roundabouts, and some coming in and some going out. But we will start listing them, and I need Steve to build a new category for it on the website. So there's a couple I'm going to show you today that are in a pre-cut, but they're not online yet, but they will be in the next couple of days. So these are the patterned ones that I also want to work with this year. So I've got 3 of these up and raring to go, and I've got some more. I've got heaps more. These, they're not a distinct pattern, are they? But I do love them, and I think we're going to be able to use them. So I'm looking at this one. You know, our big digitally printed Waratah panels that you're waiting on me to do kits for. So projects like that have large enough sections that I think will work really well with prints like this, and we'll mix them with the marble ones as well. So if you have a look, or with the baton shadows they're called. So see that? So I think they're really nice. It's not an overpowering pattern. It's just subtle. And again, background or sashing or applique. So I want that versatility, and if I wanted to compare it to anything non-batik, it would be our good old friend like Robert Kaufman fusions, you know, with a little leaf sprig and things like that. This is going to be the batik equivalent of those that are just going to be brilliant to have in the stash or to use for movement. So I do plan to put some of these into our new applique essential packs this year, and I'll be using them a lot. And if I can marry up the colours, I think these are going to work with the gelato ombres. Don't hold me to that yet, but I do think they will. 2 things that I wanted to tag under today's banner, which I think's up, should be up. I have complete faith. That's really funny. Joan says, I'll have to rewind to see what you said. Oh, I'm missing things. And there, Jennifer Moore's trying to ring me from Aster and Ann. Maybe she thought I named today's show after her with Aster. Or she'd ring to talk to me about exciting things about Sue Spigo threads. I'm going with the latter, and I will ring her after the show. There were two fabrics that I wanted to put under today's banner for you, so you could click on it and have a look. And this is one of them. There were two, but there were two that are not listed on the website, and I ran out of time. So I thought, what will I do? I'll give them away. So that's one. I'll come back to it. And this is the other one. So there's three colours. So you'll find them sort of, there's dark on the top and then medium, and then this is the light. There. Okay. Listen to all those planes at the airport. Everyone's out in their little Learjets. Hey, this is Robert. This is Hoffman Sea Mist. I can't find it on the website. So it needs uploading, so I'm just going to send you 10 centimetres if you buy half a metre or more of any of these, because I think it goes with all of them. So if you have a look, see in there, see that's it. Oh, no, sorry, you can't see that bit. That's it there. And that's it in the background on this one. And then that's it in these sort of like a little grains of rice in there. So it goes with all of them. So no matter which one you buy, I'm going to send you 10 centimetres, and then I'll put the rest of the stock up online. That's alright. I think that's a win-win for everyone. I don't mind that. Okay, so I'll pop that up there. And then you'll just have a little bit, you know, of a contrast to stick with it and have a look at. And then you want to know what it was, won't you? Maybe it said C. I'm sure it said C. Sea Cliff, sorry. Sea Cliff. Sea Cliff's not up. Anyway, even if it is, we're getting 10 centimetres of it, so that's all fine. What did I miss? I missed something. Happy New Year, Maggie. Lynette, what fabric did you use for the borders? Oh, it is Champagne Fairy Frost. Champagne Fairy Frost. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty there. Glennis, I can see you're watching, and good afternoon to you. Is there a way to see other people's blocks? I'm using my own fabrics. No, Sue, again, it's an intellectual property thing, so I'm not putting it up on anything like that. But what Sue's asking is, can she see anyone else's blocks from Be Mindful and the Oriental Baltimore? I think you meant the Oriental Baltimore. What I would... Oh, you're using your own fabrics. You know, I don't think so many people here are using their own fabrics. But if you are using your own fabrics for the Oriental Baltimore, would you like to, at any stage, kindly take a photo and send it to me, because then I can share them at least with Sue, so she can see what other people are using. And Sue is in California. She's not here. She's not with all of us. So she'd love to see what you are all doing. And hers look lovely, and I can share hers with you as well. That's all fine. Okay, so that's that side, and then I've just got some other stuff here. We can run through it. That, can you see on the edge there? You can see all those bright bolts. I've popped them in there because they're ready for me to cut these pre-cut packs. Because we're doing poppies today. Let's just use the overhead, hey, because we can. I wanted to put together a poppy pack. That is my poppy pack. It could be my Aster pack as well. It could be my, what's that other thing? It starts with a Z. The zinnia pack as well. It could be my Gerbera pack. Could be any of those, but a pre-cut poppy pack sounded good. So this pack has 10 6.5-inch strips. Remember I said I wanted to do a few different things this year. I just decided to go bigger today than we usually would for an applique essential, because I could, and there are solids in here as well. So these have all been chosen with raw edge applique in mind. All right, so all of them, the back is the same color as the front, because they're all batiks or they're Northcote Colorworks solids, which I'm not supposed to touch them because they're for a new quilt, but I can't help myself. So this is watermelon down here, and this is Marrakesh up here. These two here are these new Banyan batiks I was telling you about. Then we have Hoffman batik in Singapore, poppy, koi, and I had them written down. I'm very happy I remember them. it's because I didn't bring the bit of paper in, celadon, parsley, and I'm telling you these, and I've tagged them as well, so that if you go, oh, I need that colour, you can buy it by the half metre, or they're in this pack, except for parsley. Parsley, look at that chip on that nail. Parsley is very, very low in stock, so he's offline and he's being saved for these packs at the moment. This is Monstera. My grandmother had a Monstera, but your grandmothers all had a Monstera. So, and I think that is so true to the foliage. So that is that pack. So you've got 10 6.5-inch joyful strips of fabric. And when you hop online and see the price, you'll go, ooh, because I've put it on special, and that'll stay up until midnight Friday. No, midnight Sunday, my apologies. That's up till midnight Sunday. Okay, so that is there for you to have a little play with. Oh, I didn't even know there was such a thing, Jimmy. I did not know that. There you go. There's such a thing as a blind juror. I didn't know. Okay, so we're going to use these at the same time that we're talking about poppies and asters today. So first of all, can we do this first? I'm back 8 o'clock Friday night. I was about to say 7, and then I remembered our friends in Queensland. 8 o'clock Friday night, we're back, and we're going to do the first of our Stash Buster shows. We are, and one of the little things we're going to demo in terms of how it goes together and how we can use it for other things is our little pincushion from the Chandler's Cottage calendar, 2023 calendar. Okay, so this is in here. Now, for those of you that have got your calendars, I don't know if you've started or not yet, but you should have an email from me. So if you ordered it yourself, we've sent out an email to you all for the start of the year a couple of days ago. So you've got a little read there as well, and I'll be putting one up on the first week of each month. Because if it first day of the month falls on a weekend, it may not make it there. So it will definitely go up the first week of the month. There's just a little email and a little chat from me this month, but next month there'll be a demo that you'll be able to link through to with a little private YouTube channel all set up for you. So have a look at your emails, check your spam box if you can't see it, but there's one there for you. What I'm going to do on Friday night as one of our little Stash Buster startups is what I've said in the email. So we're going to take this design and use it as inspiration for a scrappy quilt. So it's really back to the old world of crazy patchwork, but we'll just go through the process of how to design your own blocks if you want to, a little bit of a stack and whack, and we'll have a little bit of a play. Plus, we're going to take that and we're going to have a look at it in terms of making some really cool little zip purses. We've done this before, but if you go and have a look under the banner today, we've got a truckload new zips. A lot of the ones we were out of stock of, zip pulls and things, are back in stock, so I want to have a play with those on Friday. So that's Friday night, and there'll be leftovers from my poppy pack that I'll be using as well. So I'll just put this over here, and then we can have a look at the Aster block. Now, I think one of the reasons everyone was doing the big comparison between Michelle's quilt and the Oriental Baltimore as well is because they're circular designs. And I can't show you Michelle's anymore because it's gone home to Michelle, and it is actually being auctioned, can't remember. I think it's auctioned off this year for a major breast cancer research funding project, which is fantastic. So I'm looking. I can't see it. I will fake it. I brought in my light box to show you, and the cord's not here, so that's okay. Just put it under here. Light box. We'll put it under here. Yeah. So I think that's one of the reasons. So when I came to draw up all of the pieces today to use from a machine applique point of view, rather than the needle turn and the pre-shaping that we've been doing so far, I decided to draw it up the way that we've been drawing up the ones for Be Mindful. So I'll show you what I mean. At least I got the overhead camera working, because that was not behaving either. All right, I think this first step might be a little bit hard for you to see, so I'll bring you back here and show you. So this is the pattern for the Aster block. So the way to get your hands on this is to join up to a Quilter's Life or to buy the pack, the casual club pack that's online. So if you buy it without the pattern, you're a member, do that if you're a member of a Quilter's Life, because it's already in there for you to print, download and use. Or if you don't want to join up, then you just buy the one that has got the pattern in it. And membership is $10 a month. You'll find the details on the website. Let me just do that. I've got to do the ad bit, everyone. You know how it works. So this is a quilterslife.podia.com. This is my online club. It's $10 a month. Okay, so we've got lots going on in there this month, including, I might actually go and get something out of the freezer to show you, because I put up a new recipe this morning, and I also put up the iris block for Madame Butterfly. So I've done my homework and I'm on the next thing now. So you'll need this to do it, okay? So it's a big circular design. So with a lot of the blocks, you'll see they're not full circles in terms of fabric, okay? So this one's got a bias strip around here. Here you create the circle by putting down individual logs for the bamboo. Ginger that I think you can just see over here, that circular design is actually created with different elements like the foliage and the ruching. So you see what I mean? They're not full, complete circular ones, but this is. So this is very similar to what Be Mindful is. And if you want to Google Be Mindful, please do. You'll find it. You'll find a lot of pictures of it on the internet, of Michelle's quilt, because it's been a very successful quilt and it's been running as a club and a pattern for quite a while now. So this one brings up what we do with Be Mindful, and it's worth showing you. Hi Gail, how to see you. Can you still buy the calendar? Yes, Barb, you can. They are online, and they may even be under the banner today. So if you just type the word calendar in, you can grab one. We are out of the full kits now. We're finished with those, but along the way we will have limited number of little kits available. I don't know how it happens. I don't know how we end up with more kits of some things than others. I think we just get carried away with cutting sometimes. So I will have some of the pincushion ones available on Friday night for you. So yes. Okay, so with this, what I've done, I wanted to do this to prove to myself, but also for your information. I wanted to prove that you could fit all of the pieces onto a 1/2 meter cut. It's not even 1/2 meter, I don't think. No, this is 12 centimeters. So if you buy it in 1/2 meter increments on the website, 1/2 meter is going to get you at least 2 blocks worth, because into 30 centimeters I got all of the Aster, and there's another little pattern here down the side that I also squished in, which is this, and this is a poppy block, and look what it says, free download. So this is now up on Chandler's Cottage for you, so you can go in and download this shape and use it. Okay, it's from Manning Tree Garden. I have pulled off the poppy block, and I'm giving this away for you as a free download. So I've actually managed to fit my Aster block and my little free poppy block onto this piece. So you're going to have heaps with 1/2 meter of steamer seam. That's not steamer seam. That's adhesive tearaway. We'll get to that. Okay, so if I come back, I've got a whole heap of stuff here going on, and what I think I will do is pull off some of these elements just to show you how they're going to look in some of these, and then we can head to the sewing machine and have a little bit of a play. Oh, look, I might as well mention it. I also popped that under today. That is the Peachy Apricot Applique Essentials pack. If you really love the true colours that I've got in the Aster and they are your thing, there are those packs as well. And just while you're down there, these were beautiful fabrics that we got in shamelessly from Margaret at Margaret's Fabrics, and I had planned to do something else with them, but you know what, it's the new year and I'm not sure it's going to happen. So I've popped these up. There are 10 fat 8s and they're at a stunning price. If you love the idea of doing poppies or asters but you want them in beautiful soft pastel country shades, so I popped up those today as well. Did you? Oh, I thought I'd get away with having the coffee without you hearing or seeing me, and I stuck it in front of the lens. Okay, so let's get a couple of these cut out. So can you, I think you can. There's my whole circle, right around the whole design. And see these little marks here? This is me marking where I'm going to break. So that means that if you wanted to actually be a little bit more frugal and not do the whole circular shape with your steamer seam, you could actually line up a whole heap of curved pieces, sort of like a whole heap of bananas lined up in a row together. Because when you have a look at this, you can see you could have a little hidden break under this petal. You could get away with one over here if you just moved your poppy over just a little bit. I found another one. Where's the other one? Oh, there is actually an official break somewhere as well where it stops and starts. I can't see it now. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. There is an actual stop and start. Oh, I may have covered it up. But you could put one over the top of your stems if you wanted to. So if you're a little bit, oh, there's one. If you're a little bit tight on fabric, if you don't want to do the whole circle, and you look, let's face it, with the 6.5 inch strip pack, you won't be. But what you can do is just do sections at a time. If you remember when we've done earlier ones, we've also talked about you don't have to, with these stems, actually sit and accurately cut all those little bumps and lumps and things that I put in on the edges of them. You can just cut yourself a strip on the bias and get your iron and very purposely wiggle and make a crooked edge as you press it under, and that's going to give you exactly the same effect. So let's get a couple of these cut out. So I did my big run around first, and then I have used the inside for some of my pieces. So I'm going to come in and cut there because I know that there's a spot there that I can hide. I'd actually like to get one of my asters cut out. Now this piece of steamer seam that I'm using is a little bit troublesome, and I decided to use it and tell you all about it. It was sitting on the floor in my office, yeah, in the sun, and now it wants to, and I had the plain side up, so now look at that, it's stuck. It wants to stick to the other side. So just be careful where you've got it laying around on the floor. If it's near the window and it's going to get that little bit of sun coming underneath, just be careful. One, so I want that one because that's my number one over on this side, and then I think there's just, I just wanted to do a couple of bits to sort of show you how it's all going to come together. If I cut that, and then let's just do one of these big leaves to see what it's going to look like. I have a bit of a devious plan, so bear with me. Okay. So we want that shape as well. So that's our beautiful big leaf that's at the top. The other thing I did in my haste to get ready for the show, I didn't create a reverse of the pattern. So my poppy block's going to be in reverse when I'm finished. And so that's just another discussion to be had another time. I'll probably have to do it again if I want one. These bits are for that free download one, and so is this leaf. Hey, look what I did here. I just want to show you this too. See, you've got leaves coming up through here and then another bit sticking up at the top. I've actually chosen to extend that stem up through there so it's all one piece, but you don't have to do that. And these little stems here are so tiny. When I originally did them, this is from Manning Tree Garden, by the way, I'll show you that in a tick. I actually chose not even to put fabric down. I did it with stitching, just back and forth with triple stitch, and a lot of that was because I was using Maywood Studio shadow plays, and they are not really the best, I will say, for raw edge work. They were fine, but not that great, and I certainly wouldn't have been cutting out a piece that small. So there's my big chunk bit, and then to create those two little narrow stems, we are that's you and me, we're going to just cut two narrow strips from the batik and rotary cut them off with a bit of stainless seam on the back, because I think that's going to be the best way to do it. Right, Fiona, what's Fee say? Fee says, I'm stitching the butterfly from the needle case from the first soiree. I find it makes my needle very sticky. It can, Fiona. You've got to have that little alcohol wipe sitting there to use. As I mentioned, I haven't done that. That's what I meant to get when I picked up the hay fever tablets today, was little alcohol wipes to use. Alright, so we've got one of these, so we probably want one of these. I've got to remember, you're over here. Got to whack. Okay. So we'll need one of those. Alright, so I've got all these bits here. That's for later. That's for my poppy. That's for my poppy. These are for now. Okay. So, first thing, let's have a play with this. On the actual quilt, this big leaf here is all one fabric. Alright, so it's all one. And these have all been needle turned under. So what I'm suggesting for you is that if you want to do this instead raw edge, instead of needle turned or pre-shaped under, this is just going to be a flat strip. Now if you're doing that, you're not going to be ironing under that seam allowance. Remember, you'll just cut a wiggly line. Just cut a wiggly line on the bias and curve it round to go in if you want to. The other way to do it is, which I have done, I've actually drawn it on. So if I want to, I can do it to the lumpy bumpy bit, stick that on to my fabric I'm using, and then cut it out and it's the right shape. So there's lots of different ways that we've already covered. I do need to go back and check that all of those Baltimore shows are up on YouTube, so that I can, if you ask me a question, I can send you the link and I can get you there really quick. So I will admit, there are so many different techniques that we used last year for applique. I go, now which one did we use where? But there are lots and lots of choices that we've got to play with. So I suppose that's the best thing, isn't it? We are spoilt for choice is the term. Okay, so with this, yes, we could do one. We could just stick with one. But we've got this little pack here that's got 3 different greens in it. So if I draw a line down through here, I can split them up. Now the first thing you're going to say is, wait, Leash, you can't do that, because you need your little tab on one side. Yes, for you to overlap them so that one's hidden under the other. You don't really want to be abutting them up against each other. So let's have a little bit of fun. Let's go to this technique that we've got set up to go here, and let's put 2 different greens down each side, and then we're going to conceal that with a vein down through the middle. That's what we're going to do. That was the plan, and that's what we're going to do. I don't really want to wreck this pack because it's looking very neat, ready to find a home. That's a bit sad. Okay. In wrecking it, I am committing to using it though. I think we'll use the bright one. Sorry, the medium. We'll use the parsley on one side, the celadon on the other. It's just going to be a really lovely subtle difference between them. And then we'll use a little strip of the parsley down through the middle. Okay. I'm going to chop right down through there. I have a funny story to tell you. I don't know if I told you. Did I ever tell you that Marie Evans told me, I don't think she's watching, she'll be at work. Marie Evans told me that she opened all of her Advent calendar on Christmas morning. the whole shebang. And I went, wow. First, the willpower not to open it before Christmas Day. Well, that was pretty impressive. And then second, oh, she just sat there with a drink and opened them all. I went, wow. I had to think about that again the other day, because I have designed up four of the projects for this year's Advent. I know you say, Lise, it's only January. No. It is a very, very, very busy year. There are at least 4 soirees and other stuff in between. 4 soirees, 2 overseas trips so far. It's just... and moving house sometime. Yeah, so I've started that down there. I'll just chop this bit. I don't even know where these scissors came from. Alright, so they're ready to go, and then we'll grab this darker one. Now with this, as I said, I only want a slither, and then it's going to be, I might use this bit, this is plenty for both things, yours and my choice. There we go. Whether we use monopoly, whether we do it with an embroidery thread, with a blanket stitched down each side, with, oh, it's gone the other way, or a zigzag over the top. Sorry about the plane noise, but I had to open up that window. Do you think my girls are all laying in some comatose gluten state now, because they've gone really quiet since I took them out the bread? Right, so that's those. We'll get the iron up in a minute. Let's have a look at this, and we've got our little bit to go in the middle. So look, I'm not going to lie to you, I love Poppy, because this is its actual name. This is Poppy. So we could use Poppy. No, we're not. Sorry, changed my mind. I want to use Poppy for the small poppy that we're actually doing, that I popped up on the website, and we are going to use the koi for its center, I'm pretty sure. So let's have a look at these. In what I've done with this pack, there's actually two red stories going on. So if I show you that one, it's getting a bit, it's a bit dark in here, and the reason is that there's this beautiful sunlight coming through the window, but that makes the cameras compensate for it. Let me just pop the blind down for a tick. Just a little bit, and then we'll be good. And let's hope the girls don't hear us. Just go quietly. Just quietly. There we go. Fingers crossed they don't hear me. That's a bit better. Okay, so yeah, I'll go back here. These two go down. That's that Marrakesh, okay, and that goes down here, and you can see that this is a red with just a pale pink on it, just a little bit of a pink, because you've got to have, you know, it's like you can't have tone on tone black, it has to go somewhere. So this is like a true China red, and it goes off into a paler red that's just going a little bit pink. With the other one that I did in the kit, this is heading toward of a coral pink red. So this is the other one that's up. See that? That's in, sorry, I should say that's in the kit. And then with this one, this goes beautifully with watermelon. That takes you into that beautiful pinky red coral salmon color, isn't it? That real salmon color. So there's two really different sort of little story ways going, but you could use them all together. So you've got all these beautiful shades in there. So I don't know if you can actually see. Actually, you can see that, can't you? In that there. So you can see that you go dark, and then it's red, and then this is more of like a rusty pinky red down to the watermelon. Then I pulled out, just wanted to show you what I pulled out as well. If you're doing the kit that's for the Aster block that's actually on the website, and the one that's in the quilt, have a look at these two that I've popped up today in Sue Spargo threads as well. That's what I rang Jen about today, just to check on stock. This beautiful thing here, this is number, I've popped them under today's show, and I've forgotten the name of it. It's number 31, but anyway, you'll see it on today's code. That is beautiful, and it has oranges and pinks in the one spool. It's variegated, it's beautiful. I'm actually using this as well for one of my autumn soiree projects. And this, look at that. This is that beautiful soft grey green that we've got in the kit as well. So if you sort of want to get a little bit more chunky or really get into your hand applique, this is the perfect thread to run through here, you know, because with these we've got Juno and Stone and a few other colours happening, and that will work beautifully with it. This will be stunning over the top of your apricots in here as well. So I just wanted to mention them. I went through and pulled a few up. I've got some of the Affinas out as well. We'll go through, but now with this, I think I'm going here. I'm going to use these two. They are singing to me, they're talking to me, so I'm going to use these. The other one that we, of course, didn't pull over was Singapore, and that is going to go with those beautifully. Okay. So, just get all this mess sorted out here. All right, I want to use this one for my actual flower. Why I thought it was a good idea to share with you my error with the steamer seam was beyond me, because really I'm supposed to be so so professional, not. It's going to stay there. It's not going to move. It is not going to move. I'm willing it. So I hope you've got all of your plans for this year organised. You've cleaned out your sewing room. You've cleaned out, I've even cleaned out the wardrobe, folks. Yes, I have. Scary, but it's done. And we can only look forward to wearing all of those clothes at some point in the not too distant future. Look, I've done it here as well. It really is, do not leave it in the sun. Oh, you know what? I'm not even going to try it. I'm going to wing it. I'm going to write on the other side. I'll draw on the other side. There you go. That's what I would do if you weren't watching. At least with the steamer seam, it does stick temporarily while we get everything out. So they're going to be my contrasting colours. Now in the pattern, you're going to also find your instructions for making your little 3D petals. So you've got little ones that pop out along the way. They're down here, and that's these little guys on here. I'll show you a close-up photo. So these little ones here, these are going to be made the same way that we've done our other 3D flowers through the Oriental Baltimore. Again, in a quilter's life, you're doing truckloads of this as well, I know, with your geisha as well. Okay, so Madame Butterfly. So you've got those to do. And the only thing I would say about these, you are getting quite small. So grab yourself a pair of the small, straight forceps if you don't have a pair, because that's really, you're down to that one option now on getting those turned through. So if you haven't got any of those and you are grabbing something at some point, I would grab a pair of those. Jimmy, I have calendared my projects for the year and started doing them. Good man. Me too. Me too, me too. Glenda, I just got home from bowls and had a good win. Oh, Glenda, I have no idea which project, where, when that is, but if you have a look at your emails, it will tell you it's been sent. If you have ordered something, you're going to have to email me. I have no idea off the top of my head at the moment. Oh, Meg's been for a swim. Jeez, must be hot, buddy. It must be hot. I do have two colours. No, I don't window so it doesn't go stiff. No, Sue, I have not. Listen, maybe I'm learning something new every day. I have not heard that. I have not perfect. Right, we need an iron. We'll turn the iron on. Now with Roridge applique, oh, everything's a bit. So are you going to be an Eileen Campbell? And are you going to, what's that mean? Are you going to satin stitch? Are you going to be a Maria Waters? And are you going to use a small blind or hemming stitch? Or are you going to blanket stitch? Many, many options. What do we do today? You know, I think we'll blanket stitch. Let's not get too carried away. And I probably, to be honest, I haven't set up with the hoop and everything to do satin stitch. We would hoop up if we were doing satin stitch applique, because I want it really nice and firm. And when I say, well, I can't see one hoop up, I just mean in a hand embroidery thread flat on the bed of the machine. I get away with it a bit with my other machine, which is dual feed, but I'm not going to do it today for you. We'll do good blanket stitch on a little bit of tearaway instead. All right, let's get these leaves on. Now, in terms of the background for this today, I've actually pulled out a brand new roll of denim, and this is me playing because I have a quilt this year, a sample quilt that I will make, and I'm going to run the background on a dark blue denim, and really just to give it a completely new lease on life. I don't want to do black. It's going to have a lot of these beautiful solids in it, and I just thought, yeah, I'm going to start playing with it, because you know how like when you start with something new, you've got to get into your comfort zone. You've got to be comfortable with how it works. That's what I always say when you're making bags or cushions, that you can try colour schemes and things that are outside your comfort zone before you buy green, purple and orange to make a queen size bed quilt. So that's sort of where that was my motivation today for choosing to pop them on denim. But I really do think it's going to pop, and the denim that we've got is the same one we had last year. It's a beautiful denim shirting, so it's absolutely perfect weight for patchwork and for bags. Yeah, so I want to use that denim in this year, folks. Heavens, we're all getting terribly sidetracked. Don't worry, we'll be going true Chandler's Cottage style in a few weeks with big full-on Oriental metallics. That will all happen as well. Yes, but well, I suppose it's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people have done Michelle's quilt on a blue background, and I suppose it's also along that line, isn't it? That it's that kind of dark blue background. There's the flower. Now with these, okay, so we're going to chop these out. And then I think what we'll do is get out we've got two options. We can get out the applique mat, and we can construct on that and then pull it off and stick it on like a big sticker onto our background. And we might actually do that to an extent with our flower. But with the leaf, because there's not, you know, technically there's not going to be much actually holding the leaf parts together, I think we might go straight onto the background. That's going to be okay with steamer seam as well, because as I said, it's sticky, so it's going to hold in place. It's not going to slip and slide around. So I think that will be fine. Hello, Miss Jenny, I can hear your bell. Miss Jenny is at a standoff at the moment, a big fat Mexican standoff with a blackbird that has decided to nest under our grapevines. Now, smart blackbird, I'm going to pay this one because it's undercover. Okay, it gets a little bit hot, but you know, when people like Robert leave out water containers and food, heaven love him, for the blackbird, it's a good spot. And then the grapes are nearly ripe, so you literally, she can just put her, Jim, she can put her head across and peck a grape from her nest. Smart bird. But Ginny can't reach her, and they have a conversation at least for 3-4 hours a day about the fact that the blackbird and her think they own the territory they're in. Okay. There's those two. Get all these bits out of the way. Now I'm going to freak you out just a little bit. No, I'm not. I was. Oh, really? It's. You wanted to say hi. Did you want to say hi? I thought I had. I do have a rotary cutter. What sort of? Oh, I don't think a 4.5 is going to cut it. Hello, beautiful. Are you? You're right. Do you want your tail chopped? And welcome to our pet-free environment. Just sit that way. Just sit that way. Thanks. Good work, Jen. That's it. You sit there. Get out of my coffee. No, not the coffee. All right, you're going. Do not drink my coffee. That is just big no. Big no. Because I want it. Okay. Teeny weeny. I'll just use my little ruler. Teeny weeny little stem that's going to go down the middle. So here's my theory. Let's cut it straight first to get one. Okay. And then we'll go back with the scissors and we'll make it wonky on purpose. How many times have we been wonky when we didn't mean to be? But we want wonky on purpose. So just pivot back and forth like that. Oh, this is where I go. Is it? Oh, thank goodness it's long enough. Do you know, when I look at this leaf now, it looks a little bit like a grapevine leaf. Oh, I've just got leaves on the brain because of the autumn soiree. If you are a soiree person, Facebook page, I popped up the dates. Don't quote me, but I think it's the 26th and 27th of May, about there. 2 weekends after Mother's Day. Garfield Recreational Hall, and then we are up in the Gambie precision operation about the, I can't remember now, 15th and 16th, about there. It's a bit of a worry when I don't know them off by heart and I'm setting up the trybooking.com for you. But yes, it is on. Just pulling this off. It is on. It's going to happen. It's all going to be great. Now, a few of you astutely may notice that we have actually booked, and we know it, the same weekend as the Melbourne Craft and Quilt Fair. I'm just putting that out there now. But let me explain before you all put your hands up in the air. This year, Melbourne Craft and Quilt is running Wednesday to Saturday, so we have left you 3 days to go. But for the likes of Fiona and friends that may be deciding to trek up to Nagambie, I think it's perfect. I'm just peeling these off and laying them upside down, and then I'll get my bit of denim up, because if you were coming up from the city or down Garfield Way, Gippy Way or anything like that, you're going to come through the city anyway. So here's my thought. Make the most of it. Get into the city Friday morning, go to the show, then get in the car and come up to see us and the girls on Friday afternoon. Stop in at the Avenue Winery on the way, you know. And you've still got 3 days to go before the soiree. So we just thought that's what we're going to do. And honestly, for us, it is actually the best weekend. Marg's back a fortnight before, and then a week and a half after, with dates we've booked, we're going to shoot off to the UK. So we've gone the smack in the middle of when we're all available. There. So I think it'll be great. It's about, I think it must be about the same. It's nearly about the same weekend as last year, if you're looking at it. Can you believe it'll be a year? I won't be. It's just phenomenal that we will be back a year later. I can't believe it. I would have thought we would have been back sooner, but that's just the way. That's just the way it's played out. Here's my denim. Anyway, tickets on sale Friday if I can get all the try booking right, but I will post it on the Needleworkers Soiree Facebook page and on this one as soon as they're up and ready to go for you. This is a bit wrinkled. Just give it a little bit of a press. Now obviously Lisa, me, is not going to make the whole block right now, but I would like to have a little bit that I can use on a flap on a bag or something later. So I'll just iron a little bit so we can just see this effect. There we go. So I'll pop that there and then just lay that. I need the bigger. Oh, I've got the bigger board. Where did I put the bigger board? Right behind me. All right, let's put these on. Yeah. Here's a bigger one. That's better. What's this? What is this? I don't even know what that is. Oh, the stand's gone wonky underneath. We don't even need that. We'll just get rid of that. There we go. Right. I was in Bunnings and it was a bit scary, and I'm sorry if it's you, but this lady walked past me that I did not recognise, and she said to her husband, there she is, there's the lady that told me where to come to get my ironing board. And I don't know who it was. I just went, no idea who it was. So that's a bit of a laugh. Hello Violet, Jill Cross, good afternoon. Hi Lynn. I do like that too, Sue. I do not blanket stitch, but I do the blanket stitch by a machine. Yes. No, it's all a bit of a time thing. I hand stitched with beautiful Sue thread, Sue Spargo thread, a section which I put on somewhere. I'm trying to be good with social media, and then I don't remember where I put stuff. I think it's on the Lisa Chandler Design Instagram page. I hand sewed a little section of one of my soiree projects with Sue's thread, and it was, look, it was really lovely, Sue. I got through it before my hand started to hurt, just a little bit, but you do have to be careful. See how nice, can I just say, see how nice it looks on the blue denim. It just gives it that lovely, I don't know, it's not a contemporary look. Oh, because this was the first thing I did on the denim. This is this. I know he's missing a piece of fruit. I haven't found the piece of fruit. I don't know why the piece of fruit is missing. I might have pulled it off for a sample or something. But that's, is it August? July from the calendar. So that's the denim thing. It just gives it that pop without it being full on black, you know, heading towards Oriental kind of look. Right, so that's the two leaves down. And then this little strip, now that it's come off the backing on the steamer seam, I'll just trim that edge off. Even though I have cut it on the straight, because it is so thin, it's going to bend. Alright, so when I have a look at the end, or the tip on this leaf, it's got a little bit of a point, so I've cut a point as well. There we go. Like that. Okay. Everyone hold your breath. No, you don't have to. And I'm going to iron it on. No exposed steamer seam, so I'm not worrying about putting my Teflon mat over the top. Now, if you are, it does look like an autumn leaf now. Now, with this flower, what you can do is you can add an extra step if you want to. So if you were putting this onto a really big block and you wanted to do some stitching, and this would go, this whole thing about me and doing a demo with dodgy steamer seam is just, okay, so see how this is not behaving now? I'm going to cut another one. It is because I'd stuffed it in the sun, and then I went with what it wanted to do, and I went the other way on the other side, and it is no good. Just bear with me, check the time, have a sip of coffee. I can hear you out the window. Okay, stick that. Well. You know what would look really nice in the middle of these, like I've done on the one on the wall, is colonial knots a la Margaret style. I'm going to have to shut that window, Ginny, because the blind is now bumping. Right, where were we? I will make an effort to have a look at the picture. Let's exception to the rule with me. I think this one is this one. Am I right? Yeah, yep. So we'll stick that on there and we'll bring it down a little bit. It's about there. Okay. So if you actually want to work on this without it being on your whole background piece, we can add an extra step. So the first thing that I want to do is get these two pieces stuck together, but I don't want to iron this onto here while I've still got my paper underneath, because it can fuse it. Not confuse, it will fuse it together even more, and then it's hard to get the paper off. You sort of got to, you know, you haven't got that many chances up your sleeve. So I'm going to stick it on my Teflon mat, and then I'll give it an iron. And now they're stuck together, and I can peel this off. There you go, that's a bit better. You can peel this off. Then what am I going to do with it? Because I still don't want to put this onto my background. I want a smaller piece to work on it. So that's where we use adhesive interfacing, because I can put this underneath and they won't permanently stick together. I'll just cut a small piece of this for Steve to find it cut out tomorrow. And then this just, on that side, on the shiny side, it sticks, it doesn't come off. And then it is here for me to actually take to the sewing machine, and I can do any detail work that I want to do on here first, and then I can peel it off all as one mass. I'll just do it to quickly show you, and I can pop it on here. So there's two ways of doing it. Now you could, as I said, this, look, I'm going to say, I said there's not much holding them together, but look, you probably could get away with it. I'm just worried about them pulling out from underneath this little leaf here. So that maybe not as much, but definitely with this we can. So let's head over to the sewing machine, and we'll just have a little bit of a play with this as well. Now with this one, I'm actually thinking, how are we going for? How are we going? Oh, I'll look on here, that would really help. Oh, okay, we're fine. I was going to say, we've come back and we'll do a little bit of construction with this little free one that I'm giving you. This is little as it is, but you can hit photocopy a scanner and blow it up so it's bigger, you know, to a size. You put it on a gorgeous cushion, a little wall hanging, you know, for Anzac Day, something like that would be really, really nice. I'm doing it small today, but you can make it as big or as large as you want. You can take the elements out of it and play with them, because it's a free download, so you can do what you like with it. Thread. I've got a super bright yellow in my machine at the moment, so I went through and I had a look at what we had and what I thought we could have a play with, and I thought, yeah, we'll go yellow for the demo. But I've also got, and so these are all the polysheens, Metler polysheens. Now, as you know, and that's why Jen will have rung as well, that I'm trying to get across to the Wonderfeel warehouse and have a look at the Wonderfeel ones, because I can't get these all the time, or the Metler ones all the time. They've been out of stock for ages, and we can't wait. We have things to do. So I'm going over to see Jen. But I do have in stock 0605 in the Metla Poly sheens. So that's what's sitting on my machine. Beautiful, super pop of bright yellow that's going to look good with all of the poppy pack. And I just pulled out, we've got these in stock as well. These are poly sheens in 2 beautiful greens that are going to look really good with all the greens in our pack. So if I lay them over that, you can see what I mean. So the darker one is 7822 and this lighter, brighter one is 6051. So they should be tagged under today. I'm not quite sure, but have a look at all of the poly fuses and see if there's a color there that you need for something else, because if you purchase 4, there is a discount. So you know, it's a 10% discount. And I'm running, because you always ask, so I'm telling you now, like a makeup ad. I'm running with the bright yellow. I'm not going bright in my bobbin. If you picked up that gold pack before Christmas, you've already got a bright yellow. I'm running 640 bottom line in my bobbin. This is a great versatile pale yellow. It will go with anything from this bright yellow right through into like a pale cream. So I find that this is my next go-to. I mean, this up against, you know, that's fantastic. So that's 640. And then the other one that I pulled out to run with my darker thread that I'm going to use, I love this, is this browny, dusky, pinky red, if that makes sense, that goes really well with the watermelon and the batik that I'm using. This is I don't know them all off by heart, 1921. So you can see that beautiful color there, and you can see how it, see what I mean? Just gorgeous. So with this, again, I'm not running a perfect match to it. I'm running something that I think, she says, is really versatile, which is this beautiful dusky pink. This is 629. So this will work for anything. It doesn't look like it in the pack, but you've got to remember this is super fine. So from anything like this color down to a burgundy, down to a red, and any of your pinks in between, that's a gorgeous color. And that will even work with brown. It's a little bit like a grey works with everything. This will work with a lot of different colors. So we're going to run that in the bobbin, and this is where, have I already threaded up? Surely I'm not that organized. Let's go to the machine and have a look. Surely not. No, I'm not that organised, but there is one sitting here. So we'll just pop this bobbin in. So we always say that our lighting is really bad near the machine. And again, it's one of those things where, because the light is so bright on the sewing machine, that it compensates. So Rob and I, we actually have a to-do list this weekend to spend a couple of hours in the studio playing with lighting, because otherwise the new year is just going to continue and kick on, and it made a bit of a difference, and we're not going to be any better for you. So that's what we're going to do. Now with your machine, if you can actually tell your machine that you are blanket stitching or appliquing like you can on a Benina, then please do. Oh, someone's ringing the phone and I'm not able to answer it. I could answer it and cause all types of shenanigans, but I won't. Usually with my machine, I don't need to bring my thread up from underneath first, but I do sometimes. Did I do what I think I just did? I did, didn't I? I just threaded up with dusky pink to run my bright yellow thread. Right. Let's just see how good my tension is now, shall we? So, unbelievable. So I do tend to bring these up, one, because I sew fast, and with slippery thread, even the best machine that you can kickstart straight off without bringing your thread up won't always like it. So I always like to just give it a little bit of love first. The default setting on my machine for a blanket stitch is 2.3 mil wide and 2.6 long. This is way bigger than what I usually use for really fine detailed machine applique. I usually run at about 1.2, 1.3 for length and width. But in this case, I think to show you and to really, you know, quite distinctly and determinedly. That's not the word. What am I looking for? On purpose, I really want this stitch to stand out as a feature. I'm not trying to create an applique that is, you know, muted and almost invisible. If I wanted to do that, I'd be running a thread that matched my fabric perfectly and running a super small blanket stitch or satin stitch. But here, I really want to make a feature of the thread. So remember, we've got this tearaway underneath, and you know, we've got, oh no, I do have a peasant there. I haven't got. I've just seen my desk. It is absolutely trashed. That is just disgusting over there. I cleaned my office top to toe, all the cupboards, everything, and it took 3 hours to trash it. It only took 3, so I need to clean it up again. Okay, so we'll just finish that off. Okay, can you see that? It looks quite cute. It does look quite cute. Then for around the edge, I'll do the same. I won't do it all now, and we just want to start it off to show you. And what I will do, I'll reduce the size, as I said, of my stitch lengths and widths. So I'll go down to 1.5 and 1.5. And sometimes you do need to reduce it just because of the scale of what you're doing, and also if you're going around tight corners. You know, you can't have a great big chunky stitch like this if you've got little wiggly edges. So okay, so I'll just do a bit of this. So now I'm going to have sort of a more solid line on the edge in this thread. Always remember, with your blanket stitch, pivot when you're back on the edge, not when you're in the middle of the spoke of your vertical stitch of your blanket stitch. Otherwise you'll get V's in your spokes, and you don't want, no one wants a V in their spoke. I want you to see how your machine behaves doing this sort of stuff. If you find it slipping and sliding, you might need to increase the pressure of your foot, so as in this foot, a little bit so it holds on better. You might need to pop it in a hoop so it's easier for you to control. Just see how you go. If you have a dual feed machine, be sure to have your dual feed on. Okay. Now I'm going to be complete devil here. I'm going to finish up at this little peak, and I am literally going to finish this stitching, applique stitching, once it's on the denim. Okay, we'll just do that. Now, if you remember what I said as well, I've been yelling at you because I'm near the machine. Remember what I said as well, that these fabrics that I've put in this pre-cut pack, these are great for raw edge applique because they're same colour front and back. So the other thing about your smaller stitches, they become really important if you are working with fabrics that are perhaps paler on the back, like a shadow play, like a print, you know, that's always faded, or it's faded or paler on the back. So just keep, go and get that blind for you. Just keep that in mind. Go the smaller stitches, or almost down to a satin stitch, like Eileen does. If you are going to, let's just shut that window, Ginny. If you are going to use those fabrics, you'll need to get a smaller stitch so that you don't see those, see that little kick up of that raw edge. And I know, I have mates, I'm not saying Eileen, maybe, who are very, very clever. They will even grab a little pigment pen that's the same colour as their applique fabrics. If they get that little bit of, you know, it's like a little bit of white fluff, like you would on a fabric that you've torn on the edge, to colour it if it starts to kick up. True, and so that it looks like it's part of the fabric. Okay, close up. So you can see I've got that tiny little blanket stitch going on around the edge. I've used the bigger one in the middle. So you can see this now. It is just begging, isn't it, for some really cheery, bright beads in the middle, or some colonial knots. Most of us in our decorative stitches on our machine have got kind of like little starbursts, and they might be in a row, but you can just do one finish, move, do another one, finish. You've got a row of them as a decorative stitch. So that's, there is a joy to hand stitching, but there is a real joy to getting stuff done quick as well. Okay, let's go to the back of this. So let's just imagine I've got all of this stitched and it's all looking gorgeous. Now keep in mind you would usually do this outer stitch once it's on the denim, but I just got carried away because I wanted to show you. So I'm just rip all this off. Just, yeah, that was really naughty of me, wasn't it? Okay. What I would probably do if you weren't watching, I had to do it. I just wanted to see what it looked like, which is really naughty. Okay, because it is so small, you know what I'm going to do, don't you? I'm just going to trim it off. Oh, Lisa, New Year's resolution. Be completely professional and set an example on your live Facebook shows. I'm sure that is New Year's resolution. About 4. Ta-da. Okay. So now you can see what I've done because I've had it. I can get that bit off that we really need to, but because I've got it on the tear away. I don't know if I can be bothered taking that off. It does come off, but I've done such a good jolly job of stitching, I'll leave it on for now. What I need, and I don't have in here, is a pin just to nick into that paper, and then it would just off. But once that's off, the other thing you can do now, of course, are all these little, sorry, before you take your tearaway off, you could put in all of these little lines if you wanted to. You know, you could add so much detail before you actually stick it onto your block. I'm going to place that up that way, or up that way, up this way, over there, and that's where I will put it. Okay, I'll give it an iron down. So all I really wanted to do was demonstrate that you can do a stack of this sort of detailed work on your stabilizer before you actually have to add it en masse. Thank you, Fiona. Add it en masse onto your background. So, you know, and some of us get really nervy about, me included. You know, you're working on a very special piece. You've got a great big thing going on here. You don't sort of want to get distracted like with the phone ringing or a cat jumping up on the table at that second that you hit a piece of fabric with the iron and you realise you've put it in the wrong place. We've all been there. We have all been there, and you just don't want it. I do like the idea of doing these in the yellow as well. If you, just thinking out loud, if you would like to still add the 3D petals that I've got up on this one, I wouldn't do them bagged out. I think there'd be too much. I would actually do them by sticking 2 pieces of fabric together with steamer seam in the middle. You know, we've kind of all done this, I think, before, so that it's thick and it's firm. I would stick 2 bits together, and then I would satin stitch the shape onto it and then cut it nice and neat to the edge of the zigzag, because, and then I would put them under that center piece, because this, you know, it's all very well on the one on the wall to have the thick bits sticking out, but I don't think you really want thick bits of fabric or 3D sticking out from underneath this center piece that you're actually going to be adhering on and then blanket stitching, because all the little edges, you're going to end up with little lumps and bumps from a bagged out petal sitting underneath this rim. So I think if you still want to add that 3D element, I would do 2 pieces stuck together so it's still nice and super thin. But of course the other thing that you could do is to just go through, let me draw it on for you now. So I said I've trashed the table. Look at this up here. You could go through and actually draw some on and then just stitch them on. So you'd have quite a lot of detail going on these flowers. You could lay down those little lines that I've put on, perhaps in one of these other colours. So it's just green. Let's just think about this. Green, and we've got this, and we could go darker. So maybe what you could, there's so much you could do with that Suspago thread, but maybe what you could do, just as one idea, is these lines that I've got over here, these lines here that are on the pattern, that sort of break it down into different, almost like, I suppose, petals, right? They're petals. So you could actually do those in the yellow through here. So mark those down in the yellow, but then these little 3D features that I've added on the one on the wall, I've just drawn on with a chalk pencil, you could actually do those as part of your quilting step. So you choose something like this, which is, whichever I said it was, 1921, matching thread, or just slightly different. And when you come to quilting by hand or machine, it's only a little bit, so you know, by hand it'll look really cool on a bag or something. Use this to put in those petals, and then they're going to be there, but they're going to be more like a textural effect rather than standing out. That would be a great option actually if it was a bag, because you don't really want a lot of 3D stuff going on if it's going to be on the side of your body getting rubbed against with bags full of fabric from shopping in, I don't know where, somewhere like that. So that, you know, we've been guest bagging for ages, I have been, but that's, if you were just on your own and I was doing that really quick, that's a 5-minute thing to set up for me to get that ready, and then it can go across to the machine and get stitched. Be lovely. I would put my tearaway under there as well. Alternatively, if I'm happy for it to stay on there, I'd be putting weft underneath, so I put my adhesive weft underneath. If I'm on my 790 where I've got dual feed, then the weft is going to be enough with the dual feed engaged. But if I'm on my 735 with my 5.5mm feed dogs, then I'm more likely to actually stretch it out into just a hand embroidery thread hoop and stitch it in that so it stays really nice and flat. So that's that one. Now I realise the afternoon is just kicking on so fast, but I want to just have a quick play with you with these other shapes that I've popped up online for you. Now this comes from, going back here, this comes from the Manning Tree Garden patterns. We haven't had these up online for a very long time, and one of the reasons was because we were not happy with our printer, as you know, and we went off and got at least a big Canon. Who packed this? A big Canon copier. So that's what we did. That's what we do. The channel cottage calendars on to order. That's what we'll be doing. We did all your, well, I loved it, the advent envelopes on your design this year. So that's what we use for that, and now we can print these in-house. What that also means is they are $5 cheaper than they were before. So they used to be $30, and we're now doing them like this, and they're $25. So there's two of these, and hold the quilts. Okay, you want to see the quilts? So the quilts in the cleaner got put away neatly in a suitcase and put in storage at Phil's. I didn't know I was going to want them, did I? So if you have a look, this is Manning Tree 1. There's your poppy block right there. So that's the one that I've popped up as the free download. So it is, when you print it out, if you print to scale on your printer, it is the actual size that's in the quilt. There's all these little blocks. They're all little English flowers. And this is Manning Tree Garden 2. So this one's different again. So between the two patterns, you've got so much to play with. There's 12, there's 12 in each one. So, and I've done a slightly different layout, as you can see, with both of them. So there's lots and lots of little flowers in these. The size that they're at, they're really good to use in this size. So you could use that as a stitchery as well. If you love doing just straight stitcheries, you could do them as red work, blue work, black work. We'll do them multicoloured. I've learnt from Margaret, you just choose a beautiful variegated thread and do them all in the one. All of that sort of stuff. I'm not even going to try and get back that in there at the moment. But sorry, I wanted to show you. So each of them, you've got the full scale pattern ready to go, and you've got a little picture of what it looks like on the quilt. So you've got a slightly better photo. Oh, I love the hydrangea. I need to come back here. Okay, so you've got them all there. There's nasturtium, pansy, aww, periwinkle. Anyway, they're all in there. So that's what they come from. So if you like the download one, there's a truckload of those. There's another 23 to play with. All right, so with this one, I want to play with the poppy fabric. I am literally just going to put all of my pieces. Shall I? No, it's a tough call. It is a tough call. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. I've cut out the pieces here for this one. And then I've got these little bits down here. I'm deciding. These pieces here are actually for this main flower. And it's a tough call. All right, this bit here in the middle, I'm going to do with Singapore. Let's do Singapore. Only need a little bit. For those in A Quilter's Life as well, the iris that I popped up today is done the full-on pre-shaping polyfuse method, but I will be doing the other two versions. I'll come back and do them. I have to do them. I've done it again. I'm going to do the other two versions half raw edge. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. I'm going to pre-shape and then machine applique on with monopoly, and then the other one I'm going to do full raw edge. So we'll have sort of 3 different degrees, if you like a little catalogue. Well, that was not successful. Put that down there. I'm going to stick that right on now. I'm going to stay. You are going to stay. Yeah, okay. So that's that one done. So that was just the center of the flower, and then the other pieces. Oh no, I remember, I was going to try and impress you. This little slither here that I'm cutting out, I'm going to move that camera, it's just not working for me. There we go. There we go. This little piece here, I'm also going to cut from Singapore. I'll show you why. Well, now there's a place I'd like to get back to. You know how you buy something when you're away as a souvenir and you know you're going to regret not buying more? That is me and these little bowls that I picked up in Singapore, and I feel like I'm going to do a stopover when I go, purely to storm down to the market and buy more. That, and I've watched Crazy Rich Asians about 5 times, so I want to go back and go to a couple of places again for a cocktail. Alright, these are the other pieces. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this poppy batik, because it's all marbly, and I'm just going to stick them down and just see what happens. But I encourage you, if you buy some poppy batik or you get the pack, have a really good play. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to get out the swear jar in a minute. That didn't work. I'm going to do it from the back. Grab out, really get carried away. Because see how you've got these big blobs here of yellow, and then you've got dark bits over here. So you could actually... Is this even salvageable? Oh, I know how to do it. You turn it over to the other side and you cut it out together. Just, just to make do, and then Lisa will never ever use dodgy steamer seam to prove a point on a show again. Alright. Thank you. Done. Yeah, so you'll be able to play and position pieces. So you're literally getting all of the different shades that you want to use for your flowers out of the one fabric. Right. One of the ones, the one I put on Instagram on Lisa Chandler Designs in black and white, is actually from one of those new ones I've shown you today. It's one coming in that is, I got a little sample of it that's all different shades of autumn colours. So I'm a bit excited because everyone that gets it in their kit for the soiree will end up with a different coloured leaf. And I'm not telling what the leaf's for. You know I can't keep a secret, and I'm not telling yet until the sample's finished. And I'll tell you. Definitely. Diane Basilman's here. Hey, did you? Oh, sorry, Diane. Did you get my email? Email me back. Tell me what's happening. I like that. I'm not looking at the mess, Lisa. I'm too busy concentrating. You're taking notes. Don't have to take notes. You just rewind later. Well, you just don't want to muck up so the project's sitting in the bag and the. You guys are so funny. You really are. All right, let's just chop this out and we'll see how it looks. You'll see on this little design that I've sent you, there is a lot of line detail. So these were actual like full sketches that I did with a grey lead pencil. So you've got masses and masses of lines in here. I'm not suggesting that you use all of them, and it will depend on the technique that you're using. If you choose to do hand embroidery for your detail and applique on by hand, then these little lines here, I would only use one strand of D&C if you're doing embroidery with a little stem or back stitch, and you won't need all of these lines. You'll be able to pick and choose maybe every second one. If you're doing it by machine and you're just using a single embroidery thread with a straight stitch like the monopoly I've just been using, then perhaps you do want all of them. Also, if you use plainer fabrics or simple fabrics here, I suppose these tonals I'm using are pretty much simple. Don't discard the variegated threads for machine that are sitting in your stash as well, or hand, because variegated through here is going to be, you know, just really, really yummy. Now, what did I cut this bit out for? Oh yes, that's right. We need this bit. See this little teeny weeny bit? I'll show you why. And a tick. So I think these colours will look really nice on the denim as well. Poor Helen in South WA ordered the pale denim. Well, I have turned this place upside down looking for the 6 meters we supposedly have in stock. No can find it anywhere. So I've struck a deal with Helen, and then I'll have to get some of the pale one back in when it's available. But I think the dark is going to serve all our needs at the moment. Oh, Friday night as well, when we do the Scrappy Challenge, there are actually some scraps. Does that make sense? Mum's done some amazing new remnants bags, and she actually thinks I'll be able to subdivide into colour themes. So, what did I just do? Oh, you know, I don't even know. I need to, oh, there it is. I need to rewind to see what I've done with it. So I will be able to do some of her remnants bags in a blue collection or in a pink collection, so, or an Under the Australian Sun collection. So I'll wait until I get them. I'm picking them up on Thursday, and I'll get them up for Friday night. And then after, I suppose it's the spoils is the term, after the completion of our Boxing Day, New Year, whatever you want to call it, sale, there were a few bolts that just had not much left on, or we had multiple of. So I'll be popping up some remnants packs before Friday night. And don't forget all those gorgeous new zips are there as well. Now I need my diagram. Okay, so that's going there. So this bit here is this side, okay, and that's that side, and they go underneath. So I'll pull this off. Maybe I'll put it overhead. Is overhead better? Probably. There you go. Come and join the mess over here. So that's going to go kind of under there like that. I think, you know what, actually, oh, I know why I didn't do a reverse pattern first. I'm actually in reverse. So now that's on this side because we skipped the light box because the plug's not here. Yeah, so I suppose the New Year's resolution really is to improve each week to a more professional show. You know, we'll just get it really pro and then Em will be back. Now it'll all go pear-shaped again. Emma will be back in Feb. She's away the rest of this month. She'll be back in Feb with Midnight Melba. Heads up. Spoiler alert. So that'll be fun to look forward to. Oh, and Felicity sent me this morning the most amazing photo of Melba Kaleidoscope quilt in black and pink. Oh, and I said to her, I haven't got time to make that. So she's planning on sending it over for us, which is a bit exciting to have a look at. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down there. Now it doesn't look, it actually doesn't look like it. Is that up there? Wait, I can do it. Thank you. It goes over there. Ta-da. Alright, so that's pretty much how it's going to end up. Now, I have been talking the whole way through, so, you know, not absolutely picture perfect, but I wanted to show you the effect that you get. See, these pieces are all from the same one, but see how you get this beautiful movement? Now, this teeny weeny little bit I cut out just to show you what you can do with your shading. So mine's in reverse, so see this little slither here on the side. If you want to get really fancy schmancy, you can come through and cut another piece out that's going to give you a little bit more detail and a little bit more shading and stick it on. So I hope it shows up. I've just buried the phone. I hope it shows up that you can see it just before I stick it down. So see that little slither there? Now I didn't know what was going to land here, but if it was over on this side, I'll just stick it over there to show you. See how I would have got more contrast? So just have a look at the pattern as you go. Where you see these little bits, where you get these little kick up edges, if you like, on the petals, think about adding another piece. So if this is going to be lighter yellow in here, whack a darker bit, a dark orange or a bit of red down this side, and then it really does create that effect of the petal curling up. It's just a teeny weeny little detail, but sometimes that can be enough to make a huge difference to how much ooh and ahs you get from your mates. Let's be honest. Okay, so please excuse me, I'm just going to stick this down because I don't, do I want it there? Yeah, because I'm cutting that out, and this might end up, it might end up a glasses case. I've got two new sized square glasses frames in, so we've got the normal ones, the small ones, I've got medium and large. So I'm doing the pattern back, glasses case. These would all, they may all get converted into a glasses case. Oh yeah, that'd be good. Alright, so that's that. Now with this big bit, I'm not sure how well it's going to work because of my dodgy bit of sunlight steamer seam. We've just used this one, haven't we? Used the light again. So with this, make sure that you really do want good steamer seam or Vlizer fix. Don't mess around like I am, because you really, no, you really want something that's working really, really well, because you've got lots and lots of fine lines to do. So if I go to the back, because I just want to show you what I mean, just with this little bit, we'll just do a little bit. we'll just wing it. We'll just wing it like that. You really, really want nice ones. You know what too? If you go, oh, I've got lots of gardening books, get in there and have a look and see, you know, what you've got in the way of old gardening books and old flower books and reference books as well. Because a lot of these designs that I have used in Manning Tree Garden come from a little antique English garden flower book that I picked up while I was in the UK. And I used it not necessarily for all of the diagrams, but it was a really good reference to see what was being used and what was popular in gardens in about the 1920s. So it's worth having a look, because sometimes in the old books, you know, the way that they used to print, you would get a lot of sketches and black and white outlines on a lot of pages, and then you remember every about 10th page or so you'd get what they'd call a plate, and they will have inserted a colour, a printed colour page in between. So it really, okay, so I'm doing this to show you, see how fine that is. So that's that you want it to behave while you're doing that, and then you want it to behave while you're doing that while you've got it stuck down on something. So I've done one as the paper to show you, which is, you know, not the way you do it, but I just want to show you how important it is that it's in good nick. So I'm going to take that off now, because I've proven to myself it's behaving. And then we'll come through and do it on this side. I didn't even tell you what I was doing. I was just testing it to make sure it was going to behave. Sorry, too busy talking. Yeah, so have a look for those old books. Also, if you're looking for flowers to use, when you're on Google, if you Google a particular flower, put in the words after the flower name line drawing. So if you put pansy, line drawing, rose, line drawing, you will actually get more come up that are just outlines rather than full photographs, and that will give you an amazing opportunity and resource to use. I do use that as a starting point a lot of the time for designing, and for lots of different things. Birds are really good for birds. Really good for birds. Okay. Here's my little stem. If you don't behave now, I am going to absolutely... Oh no, I won't. I'll just get out the square jar. Okay. Do the trick. Do the nick. And then pull. No, it's not. I can't believe this. Let's try down here. This is where I go, you know what, probably 5 minutes into the show, I should have gone and got a new bit. I'm just going to show you this now. Anyway, you'll get the gist. Alright, so you can see how cool that leafy green looks. Up against my poppy. Love poppies. I think Sue said she's going to do Californian poppies because they are the state flower. The state flower. Joy Crawford, hello! Did you say you sent an email to those that got the kits for the calendar? No, not yet. No, the calendar. If you've got the calendar. If you can't see it, alright, I will double check. It's not about the kits, it's about when you ordered the calendar. Now, if you ordered your calendar, if you ordered your calendar and your kits together, you may not have it yet. It'll come out in a separate one because I've got separate information for you if you've got the kit stuff. So I will double check that with Cass this afternoon and we'll make sure it's all good for you. Marie Noel's here. Hello. Hello. If you are just going back to this one, going way back to the start, in terms of doing it, if you're doing it by hand and you're doing your applique, needle turn, slip stitch or pre-shaping, and then putting it down. I did pull out for you, just to show you some of the threads I've got that will match the fabrics that are in the official Oriental Aster pack. Just move all of this across to the side. Just, nothing a vacuum cleaner won't fix. Does everyone else do that? Just get the attachment and stick it up on the bench? Okay, good, glad. Alright, so some of the other ones that will go really well with these fabrics that I've got here, as well as the poppies on the wall. So these are the Athenas. These are beautiful wonderful hand stitching threads that, as I said, you know, if you order some, you get some for free. Well, you know, you get a discount. So we've got number 47, beautiful pumpkin color. There's a beautiful deep rich teal. This is number 7. Then, are you the same? What are you both doing in here? Oh yeah, I've done groups. Okay, so this is number 24. That's that, like that dusky pink that I used in the bottom line. This is going to work with oranges, with pinks. It's going to work with the watermelon color. So it's just a beautiful kind of all-round blender color. And then we've got number 19, which is your gorgeous pale sage teal green. Love that color. Love it. And I popped in the grey. Oh, sorry, the teal is number 19. Yep. And I popped the grey in. That's number 1. And it's that lovely taupey grey. So that works with a lot of different, lot of different things. I actually used this color. If you're in a quilter's life doing the orchid, I used it with the pale sage green batik that I'm using, because it's that real grey green. That worked really well. So you can see them, that grey will work with that pale sage green really well, as will that. So that one's more green and that one's more grey, but they'll both work. Actually, that, you see, you could use that as well for the darker bits on there. And the grey, of course, is going to work for the centres that are in the middle. Alright, so that's all good. Well, I've just proven to myself it's not like riding a bike. I only took a week and a half off, you know? It's only a week and a half. Goodness. Oh, what else? No, I think that's it. Sorry, that is back up online. I just wanted to show you this as well. So this gorgeous thing got taken offline. This is one of the opulent fabrics. It was taken offline before Christmas because we were still madly making the calendar kits, and it features in the ginger pot for your, that's November, yeah? Yes, for the ginger contra fruitcake. So now that we've finished off the kits, because we can't do any more because we've run out of some of the fabrics for the other months, I have checked and I've popped it back online. And the reason that I'm mentioning it is that some people that have already had a look at this block and they want to make more, or they want to put a larger border around the outside. So that's back up now if you want to grab some of that to pop in for later in the year when you're making your ginger pot. I have ordered my calendar. I ordered my calendar at the spa also and have no email. Okay, leave it with me. I will go back. I will check them all for you, and I will get back to you. Don't worry about putting it in here because I won't see them afterwards. Diane said, what is the name of the fabric for bagging out? Diane, we use something called interfacing. It's like a really thin polyester white fabric that we use for bagging things out. So if you want any information, just email me and I can send you the tag of what I use here. It'll probably be a different brand where you are, but I can let you know. Okay. Alright. Right. All good. Okay, everyone. I'm going to head off now. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and your evening, and I look forward to seeing you at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Victorian Time, whatever you want to call it, on Friday evening if you can join me. And yeah, any other questions, please email me at info@chandlerscottage.com. And that's it, folks. We are off and running for the year. We've got so much to do this year, so make sure you're organised. Like Jimmy, write that list up, get the sewing room organised, and we'll get sewing, all right? Thank you, and I'll see you Friday evening. Okay, bye.